Hi guys, my name is Michelle and I create hair, makeup and lifestyle content here on YouTube. Today it's going to be like a battle of the gels. So on one side we have the curlup gel and on the other side we have the Enliven gel. So this is like a battle video, it's like a comparison video. We're going to be comparing and contrasting between the two. So if that sounds like something that interests you, then keep watching. So first let's talk about the moisturization that the products give you. If you use the curlup gel, then you'll notice that your hair is very moisturized. However, if you use the Enliven gel, you'll notice that it tends to dry out your hair quite a bit in comparison. And since the curlup gel is so much more moisturizing in comparison, you'll notice that you'll have shinier, glossier curls. However, if you use the Enliven gel, you'll notice that it tends to dry out your hair a little more, and so you'll really struggle to get that shine and that moisturization and that gloss in your hair. The next point is about my personal experience and how it works on my hair. So, when I use the curlup gel, I notice that the hold is light to medium. However, if I want to get like a stronger hold with it, then what I need to do is first use it while I'm styling, then I need to plop, then I need to take off the plop and then glaze my hair once more with the gel. And then I notice that the hold that it gives me is sufficient for my hair. However, when I use the Enliven gel, I notice that one application is totally sufficient because the hold is so much better than the curlup gel. Next, let's talk about the structure that both of the products give me. I notice when I use the curlup gel that my hair is a little more elongated, whereas when I use the Enliven gel, I notice that I get so much more shrinkage and so much more structure in my hair. Next, let's talk about frizz. Now, I don't claim to have frizz-free hair. However, when I use the curlup gel, I notice that my hair is way less frizzy. However, when I use the Enliven gel, then I notice that I have a little more frizz because obviously it's a little more drying as well. However, let me just say that when it comes to the Enliven gel and frizz, what you can do is to tame that frizz. After you scrunch out the crunch, it's very important for you to glaze your hair with a serum or a light oil, and also deep condition every single time you use the Enliven gel, because that is going to help your hair not get dried out when you're using the product. Now let's talk about my curl clumps and what I've noticed about my curl clumps with the two gels. I've noticed when I use the curlup gel, then my clumps are not super robust, which means that my hair is pretty soft and it's very easy to break open the clumps. Whereas when I use the Enliven gel, I notice that my clumps are far more robust and it lasts me way longer. What I'm trying to say is, let's say I use the curlup gel, then I notice that my results last for 3-4 days. However, when I use the Enliven gel, then I notice that from day 1 to day 7, my clumps are completely robust and they do not break open easily. Alright, so the next thing that I absolutely love about the curlup gel is, although my clumps last like 3 to 4 days and not longer than that, my hair is incredibly soft. However, when I use the Enliven gel, I notice that my hair is a little more structured and a little more rigid compared to the curlup gel, which means that the softness that the curlup gel gives you, the Enliven will not give you the same amount of softness in your hair. Which brings me to my next point about the curlup gel. Since your hair is so soft and your clumps are not going to be robust, you will notice that it doesn't tangle as much. And so when you go to detangle it, the next time you're washing your hair, you'll notice that that detangling experience is so much better and you won't have matted hair. However, when you're using the Enliven gel, you'll notice that your clumps are so totally robust that it's very possible for the clumps to get stuck together, and that is going to start matting if you don't separate them on day 2, day 3, day 4. And so what I would recommend is, if you're using the Enliven gel, then on day 1, before you go to sleep, take your hair and glaze it with a little bit of serum or a light oil and make sure that you separate your clumps a little bit. You don't have to break them apart, but just make sure that you're just separating them from the bottom going right to the top so that they don't get stuck together. Do that every single day. So when you wake up, if you notice that again your clumps have gotten stuck together, then separate your clumps, glaze them down with a little bit of oil. So just take the oil, glaze your hair, and then sort of just gently, you don't have to pull apart your clumps and ruin them completely, but what you can do is just separate them so that they don't get tangled up. This is going to help you not get that matted feeling and help you with your detangling process. Because if you don't take these extra steps when you're using the Enliven, then detangling the next time you wash your hair is going to be such a nightmare. And I am totally guilty of this. Sometimes I completely lose track of time. I lose track of what day of the week it is because I'm working. And then on those days, it becomes so difficult for me to detangle my hair. And so this is a step that I would absolutely recommend. If you're using the Enliven Gel, it is so important for you to protect your hair so that it doesn't get tangled up and matted up during the week. Alright, so the next point is about volume, and this is where the Enliven Gel wins hands down. So the amount of volume that you'll get in your hair when you're using the Enliven Gel will be so much more significant compared to the curlup gel. So since the Enliven Gel is going to give you a little more frizz, right? Frizz can also be functional, which means that if your frizz has a purpose, so let's say that I have a lot of frizz, this in turn is going to give me a lot of volume. It is also going to give me a lot of root lift because that frizz that is towards your roots will really give you that lifted effect and it'll make your hair look much more voluminous. And let me tell you guys that I'm like a medium density girl. However, I'm more towards the low medium density. I'm not like towards the higher medium density. However, every time I use the Enliven Gel, I notice that I have so much volume that I can make my hair look like so much more than it actually is. It gives you so much volume and it creates so much definition in your hair that quite literally you will feel like your hair, you have a higher density than your hair actually is. However, when you're using the curlup gel, then you'll notice that your hair will look very, very tame. It's not going to look fluffy and voluminous, and no matter how much you fluff, right, it's going to remain that way. You can style upside down and you can style in sections and you can do all of that to help with the volume, but that is only going to help to a certain extent. You won't really be able to push those boundaries the way you can when you're using the Enliven Gel. So when you're using the curlup gel, you'll notice that your results will last, like you'll have really nice results till like day 3 or day 4. However, if you want your results to last from day 1 to day 7, then the Enliven Gel will give your curls so much more longevity. Alright, so the next point, and this is about ingredients. So this gel is completely CG friendly. However, the Enliven Gel has drying alcohols which are not CG friendly. And also, if you look at the ingredients of the curlup gel, you'll notice that the curlup gel has shea butter and it also has some film forming humectants. It has flaxseed gel and it has panthenol, which is vitamin B5. And this is going to give you that moisturization, right? And so on days when you want to refresh and you don't want to do too much to your hair, then I feel like this you can use as a single styler. You won't need a leave-in. This is totally sufficient if just used alone. However, if I'm refreshing and I use just the Enliven, then on high porosity hair, it is not going to work. This will not work for me as a one and done product. However, I've been experimenting with this and I can absolutely make this work for me on days that I want to refresh. I'm also going to put up the ingredients of both the gels right here so that you can compare. Feel free to screenshot these sections. Alright, so the very last point, and this is about how you're wearing your hair during the week. If you don't want your curl clumps to be super robust and you want to take your hair and part it in different ways and experiment using different hairstyles, then I feel like the curlup gel is a very good option because your curl clumps are not going to be stuck together and they're also going to be quite easy to take apart. And so, if you're planning to wear your hair in different hairstyles and you don't really want to wear it completely curly, throughout the week, then I feel like the curlup gel would be such a better bet for you. However, if you use the Enliven Gel and then you want to part your hair or you want to take your clumps apart, you'll notice that you'll have some more difficulty. So let's say you use the Enliven Gel and you style your hair on a part. So let's say it was a middle part. And then after that, you want to part your hair in different ways because you want to do different hairstyles. This is going to be a little more difficult because the clumps are going to be so robust and the hair is not going to want to move. It is going to be very difficult for you to part your hair in a different direction. You will notice that your hair will be pretty set in the parting that you styled it on. However, if you're using the curlup gel, then you will not face this problem. Alright, so this brings me to the ultimate question, and that is, which one is better and which one would you choose? The answer to that is absolutely personal preference. It all depends on your needs and what you're looking for in a gel, your curl type also, because wavy hair will struggle a little more with hold. However, if you have curly hair, then your hair is not going to struggle that much with hold. And so you'll be a little more free to not use hard hold gels. You'll notice that a medium hold gel could be totally sufficient for you. Whereas if you have wavy hair, then you'll notice that hold is so crucial because without hold, your results could be like a complete disaster. And the way in which your hair wears through the week is going to be totally different compared to curly hair. And so this is a very, very difficult question. But ultimately, what you need to do is assess your hair's needs, assess what you're looking for in your wash day, and assess your personal preferences. And then based on that, you can choose the gel that suits you best. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, then there's a very good chance that you might enjoy one of these. And feel free to go through my channel. You'll find so much content if you're interested in hair care.